Even in our modern era, America still falls behind when it comes to gender equality. It has been a conflict that women have had to face since Abigail Adams' attempt to push women's rights in the 1700s. We live in a world where 51% are female, yet news media remains a male-dominated field, making it difficult for women to achieve a high status. It's been more than 50 years since John F. Kennedy signed the Equal Pay Act, so why is it that in 2014 women are still making less than men?
Experts caution only 7% of the working population makes more than $100,000, and men still account for about 80% of six-figure wage earners. And overall, women make just 83 cents to the dollar compared to men.
According to the Women's Media Center, 64% of bylines and on-camera appearances went to men at the nation's top 20 TV networks, newspapers, online news sites, and newswire services.
Many years ago, I said, why don't we just create our own network rather than continuing to try and get our stories told by other people's networks? So we put together an idea. We went to various distributors, including the broadcast networks, the cable companies, et cetera, pitched the idea. And one person said to me, well, why do we need another women's network? We already have one. We have Lifetime.
In the 1870s, women journalists were notorious for covering health, fashion, and home articles. According to reports from the Status of Women in the U.S. media, women produce 49% of health coverage and commentary as of 2013. Though women have more freedom when it comes to covering a variety of topics, the majority of women still cover health, lifestyle, and culture, while few women are assigned world politics and crime.
For 23 years, the IWMF has espoused the very simple principle that no press is genuinely free or empowered and that no news is truly representative without women's voices. This organization was set up 23 years ago by female reporters who themselves had found their career paths strewn with obstacles just because they're women.
It is evident that women news anchors' attire is noted to be more scandalous than men. On big networks such as Fox and CNBC, the women are wearing much more makeup, lower-cut shirts, and shorter skirts. Since the media is such a powerful tool in our modern world, this can shape and alter the way the public view these women.
This is the CBS Evening News with Katie Couric.
Hi, everyone. I'm very happy to be with you tonight.
The three major evening newscasts had been dominated by white males. They had very similar faces and very similar backgrounds for the most part. I thought this is an opportunity to mix it up a little bit. I also thought it was an important message that a woman could be as competent as a man in an important, powerful role. Television's a very visual medium, obviously, and it's kind of how do you walk the fine line of looking pleasing and attractive, but also looking professional. I think it's really hard for women today.
Sheryl Sandberg is one of the youngest self-made billionaires and is listed at number 6 on Forbes' list for powerful women. In her book, Lean In, Sheryl describes her intense negotiations with Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg. She also talks about her role in being on the board at the Walt Disney Company.
And I said, are you telling me that I'm the only woman to have pitched a deal in this office in a year? And he looked at me and he said, yeah.
In print journalism, it was reported that the New York Times had fewer female bylines among the nation's 10 largest newspapers. Though this may come as a surprise, men still account for 2/3 of American daily newspaper staff, while women only make up 36%.
I even remember writing to the president of the news department and saying, we should do something on this new women's movement, and he wrote back, not enough interest, okay? Because that whole women's movement took place at that time.
Another area of the media that women struggle in today is sports journalism. The Women's Media Center reports that sports journalism continues to be a male-dominated field, holding at 90%. More than 150 sports newspapers and websites failed when it came to hiring women as editors, columnists, copy editors, and designers. Women totaled up to only 14.6% of the total staff within these outlets.
I think it's been numerous challenges over the course of many, many years, but I think that at the start I was actually just getting a job, getting someone to hire me. Having news directors say that our audience will not accept a woman. I just can't. I'll hire a woman over my dead body. My sports director doesn't want a woman working here. I mean, those are the kinds of things I heard for years and years.
The numbers drop even lower when it comes to radio and TV. Only 2 women were among 183 sports talk radio hosts featured on Talkers Magazine's Heavy 100, which makes the list for the most important talk show hosts. Women have come a long way in terms of status in the workplace. Though women such as Katie Couric, Diane Sawyer, and Barbara Walters have made their way to be successful female anchors, the road has not been paved for other women to climb up to the top. Some people in society find women in powerful positions to be a threat, in which equality for women is still in the works for the future.